Today, we're going to explore a simple but really powerful story about a father, his son, and an old watch. But trust me, this is way more than just a tale. It's a huge lesson about the one thing we all have, but almost all of us waste. So, let's dive right in.
But before we get to the story, I want to ask you something directly. What's the most valuable thing you own? Seriously, think about it. Is it your car, your house, maybe your savings account? We all think we have an answer, but what we're about to unpack might completely change how you think about what valuable even means. So our story starts in a small village. There's a father, and he's watching his son with this heavy heart. See, the son's not a bad kid. He's just aimless. He spends all day just wandering around. No job, no real purpose. He's letting the most precious thing he has just slip right through his fingers. Now, this father is a pretty wise guy. He knows that nagging his son or giving him lectures is totally useless. It'll just go in one ear and out the other. So instead, he comes up with a plan, a practical test, a lesson that his son won't be told, but will have to experience for himself.
The father's plan kicks off with just one object, a simple, old watch that he pulls out of a dusty old cupboard. He gives it to his son with a really simple task. Just take it to the market. This is where the first test begins.
The son's instructions are super clear. Go to the market, show the watch to a few people, and just ask them what it's worth. He's not supposed to sell it, just get a feel for its value. So he goes up to a merchant who kind of squints at this old watch and says, 500 rupees. Okay, seems simple enough, a solid starting point, but, this is just the first opinion.
A few stalls down, he asks someone else, and they offer a totally different price, 1,000 rupees. That's double the first offer. All of a sudden, the value of this watch doesn't seem so solid anymore.
And then a third person chimes in with another number, 800 rupees. Now the son is just confused. The price is all over the place. Everyone he asks has a completely different idea of what this watch is worth. So the son goes back to his father, totally bewildered. He tells him that nobody could agree on a price. And that, right there, is the first lesson. The value of a thing, an object, is completely subjective. It's only worth what someone else thinks it's worth. All right, next morning, the father hands his son the very same watch. But today, the instructions are completely different. And honestly, they're a little bizarre. This is where the real lesson is about to begin. The father tells his son to go back to the market and ask people a really weird question. How much is the time inside this watch worth? Not the watch itself, but the abstract idea of time that it measures. You can just imagine the son thinking, okay.
And yeah, as you probably guessed, it does not go well. The people in the market are just baffled. They laugh in his face. One person scoffs, "What a foolish question! You can't put a price on time."
Others are even harsher. They just wave him away, telling him to get lost. The son feels completely humiliated, totally dejected. He's thinking his father's experiment has been a massive failure.
Just when he's about to give up, he spots this little shop where an old watchmaker is just quietly working away. With nothing left to lose, the son asks his strange question one last time. But the old man, he doesn't laugh. He just pauses, looks up, and gives this little knowing smile. He actually understands the question.
And this is the turning point. The watchmaker looks at the boy and says the central truth of this entire story. It's the pivot from the value of an object to the value of something much, much more profound. The watchmaker explains it really simply. You could have all the money in the world, literally millions of rupees, but you cannot buy back a single second once it's gone. It's the only thing you can't replace, which makes it infinitely more valuable than anything you could ever hold in your hand. And this is the great paradox of time, right? The bad news is, it's always slipping away from us. But the good news, and this is the really empowering part, is that you're the pilot. You get to decide exactly how to use the time you're given. And this, the watchmaker says, is the great equalizer. It doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, or how much money you have. Every single person gets the same 24 hours in a day. The only thing that separates people is what they choose to do with those hours. In that single moment, the lesson just lands. The son's entire perspective shifts. He finally understands what his father was trying to teach him. He thanks the watchmaker and just runs home, his days of aimless wandering now replaced with a brand new sense of purpose.
And the transformation was immediate. It was real. From that day forward, the lazy wandering just stopped. He started working, he started creating, and he began to treat every single moment not as something to be killed, but as something to be cherished.
This really just brings the whole lesson home. Time is free, but it is priceless. It's like a river that's always flowing. You can't own it, you can't bottle it up for later. All you can do is decide how you're going to use its current. And that one decision is what shapes your entire life.
So, the story ends, but the lesson sure doesn't. This isn't just about some kid in a faraway village, it's about you and me, right here, right now. We all have the same 24 hours in front of us today, so the only question that really matters is, how are you going to use yours?